Hi and welcome. I am about to mess around with my stamps and dies from Heartfelt Creations, and I was just going to play, but I thought maybe I'll share some of this with you. I have been playing with clay already this morning, and I have some stuff in the oven. But what I thought for now is I will show you how I stamp these, and then I will die cut them out and come back and color them. Although I think I'm going to color them first and then die cut them, because that cleans up the edges. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I do want to show you, I did use this die yesterday, and it's beautiful. Let me get something to put in the background. I'm just going to cover it with my bead mat, because this is how the diamond dies cut out. And so if I were to use, there it is. So if you use the background one and the frame, the diamond frame, this is what you get. It cuts the frame out and the center, and you get this. So if you don't use this piece, the full center would just look like that. And I actually used the center in this, so it cut that piece, which came out of there. But you can use this by itself. You could put ribbon in it. You could do just about anything. Use it as just a background. Weave other paper strips into it. You know, it'd make a really pretty piece. And if you use this and this without this, then you get that, which is also really beautiful. And of course, if you just cut the background out, you get that. And that's just using that one die. You get this piece. So I've already played with that, and that's, I will show you the cardstock I use because it's pretty simple. Most people in the States can get this. It is Georgia Pacific, sorry for any glare, and cardstock, premium paper, and I believe I bought it at Walmart. So it's just 8.5 by 11 inches, and it's 199 GSM. And it's beautiful. It's heavyweight for projects, which it says down there. Okay, so that's the cardstock I use. Now, I could also make stickers. And when I want to make stickers, this is what I use. This is, I think I bought this one on Amazon, and it's 100 full-page shipping labels. So it's a whole sheet, and I would just stamp directly onto this sheet and cut it out, and then it would give me, I could just peel the backing off, and I would have stickers. So that is another way to use some of your stamps and dies, is to make stickers. So anyway, let me move these things out of the way. And my 8.5 by 11 inch, my Misty, which is what this tool is here, is, move all this. My Misty is a stamping tool. So you put your stamps inside this kind of lucite thing, and I have a couple of magnets here that are holding my piece of cut Georgia Pacific in place, and then you put your stamps here, you ink up your stamps, and then you close it and press, and then when you open it you can see how good of a stamped impression you got. And if you don't like it, the stamps are perfectly placed that you can re-ink and stamp again for a better impression. So I really like this tool. And to cut these this cardstock, I just used my small Fiskars kind of traveling cutter. I have a really big rotary blade cutter that is a self-sharpening Fiskars, but for this I just used that little one. Okay, so, and for ink, I am just going to use StazOn because it's water resistant and alcohol resistant, and it's jet black. It's a solvent ink pad. So let me get my stamps in here, and I'm just going to stamp it in black. I'll open this up. Get some of my cords out of the way. Okay. And let's see, we'll do a big one. And we'll do one of each. I don't want to put them too close together because I want to be able to die cut them without any problems. And we'll do that one. And then I will put that there. And we'll put that one there. Okay. And what I like about Heartfelt Creations is this sheet here, these stamps continue to stick to it, so it's a good storage. I think I'm going to turn this one. Yeah. See, I'm always trying to save paper. I don't know why. Okay, so there we go. And you can see, I think, oh, maybe you can't. Let me put this under here. I think, can you see that there's grid lines on this also? So say I was doing words, I could line my stamp up to the lines, but right now I'm just trying to stay inside the border lines. And this is just a piece of washi tape I have stuck on there for no intended reason right now. Okay, take I have my coffee over here, so everything is in my way. Move my phone. Okay, so first I'll show you the stamp side, and I will just ink these up. And this is just kind of quick ink, and this is the first time these have been inked, so it may take a little bit. Not rocket science. And put my ink pad back in the lid because I'm very good at putting my arms through it. And I just close the lid. And see? Didn't do it right myself. Usually what you do is you lay your stamps upside down on your paper, right? So you know your position on your paper. And then you close the lid and it picks the stamps up. But I didn't do that, so now I got to play with it a little. Yeah, see, I'm going to overhang the paper there. But this is a good practice one, I guess. Show you all the mistakes you can possibly make, because I'm very good at starting out with mistakes. And this will be a good practice coloring page too, because it's not going to stamp right, I don't think. Well, it does stamp right, but it moved. So, we're going to start over. Only, to start over, I'm just going to turn the paper over. I'm going to put my stamps down. See? You're going to learn. I make mistakes. Doesn't matter how long you do this stuff. I haven't done this kind of stuff in a long time, though. So, I'm going to just put my stamps right here. My die cuts are going to follow the same path, so this should be okay to set my dies into. Then you close your lid and you pick your stamps up. See? It's genius. Yeah, it's genius, except I didn't hold my paper down. Pick my magnets up. Put my magnets down. Then I will have to test the placement again. Oh, I have to move my magnet up there. Okay. All right, there. Now we got it. I was thinking this would be a good one to try doing a live thing for, but I have a hard enough time when it's recorded. And I'm not going to cut that out because, like I said, I think it's good to see mistakes. It helps you kind of see why the steps are what they are. Okay, the stamps are inked. And now I'm going to just close it down. I'm going to stand up. I want to smear my ink, but because this is the first inking, I want to make sure that I press it all down. I'm going to put my hand in there and hold this paper down and lift it. And see, it is a beautiful, beautiful impression. And I don't think I want any more ink on that. I think that's really good. So, one thing I may do is put another large one, large flower down here, and maybe a medium. Yes, yes. Okay, so I'm going to take these off. I'm going to close it down and pick my stamps up. I'm going to ink it some more. Okay. And we'll press it one more time. There we go. Stand up, make sure it has good contact. And there you go. I don't know, will this one fit? No. Okay. So that's the stamps. Now, if you look at heartfeltcreations.us, which is the website that sells these kits or collections, mostly they color with stamping ink, and they just use sponge applicators and blending tools and do their coloring that way. I think that for my purposes, I'm going to use, my daughter for Christmas gave me this 168 piece watercolor pencil set. And I have a few different sets. And I'll show you. This collection came with a color chart, Southern DIY color list. Of course, now I must have taken the label with the name of the pencils out of here. So, oh. I kind of have a matching kit of, these are oily color pencils, and they're called Wanshui, and they are from Amazon. And my daughter bought me these watercolor pencils off of my Amazon list too. So all I need to do is, from this huge pack of colored pencils, find some good fancy colors. So there's a whole bunch of purples and pinks. I mean, there's a boatload of pencils and amazing choices. So I think I'm just going to start with those. And then I will pull out, oops, some green ones too. Put those back in there. So let's see what we can do with those. I'll tell you, the only thing I lack is room. So let's see. And when I do this kind of thing, I just use a water brush. And this is just a narrow tip. So let's see. I want the center of my pansies to be kind of a yellow color. I'm going to move some of my pencils off. So I think what I'm going to do is pick this is called China Gold. So I think I'm going to do the center. I'll start with this, the big one, so that you can see what I do. And I'm just going to do some yellow, and you don't have to stay in the lines. And because it's watercolor, I'm coloring a little bit dark, maybe. So I'm going to do that. And then I think I'm going to take a darker yellow and do more towards the center in the darker color. Now I'm trying to keep a light pressure, but I am kind of heavy-handed, and I don't know. Let's see, I'm going to do this pinkier purple. Oh, that yellow was, oh, the darker one is Canary Yellow. And then this is, oh, it's, here's the name of the pencil. Let's see if I can get it down where you can see it. And I can't pronounce that. Guanghui. And the color is medium, it's middle violet. And I'm just going to color around the outside edge. Actually, I'm going to do a base coat. I'm going to do a base coat, this medium violet, middle violet. And I'm not going all the way out to the edge. I'm just putting some down because I'm going to make the edges darker. And I haven't done very much with these pencils yet, so it'll be interesting to see how these play. Kind of an overcast day today, and I have a bit of a headache that I'm hoping doesn't turn into a migraine, but we shall see. The weather's kind of cold and heavy, so yeah. All right, so that's middle violet. Let's try, now I want to go to a medium. Like a medium. This is middle. I want to go a little bit darker. So, and this is on the pink side. So I think I'm going to go, I don't want to go too gray. So I'm going to go with, what's this one? Oh, this is light indigo. So let's see, I'm going to go a little bit further out with the light indigo. And just do some of this. This is very hard. It's not laying down a lot of color. So these are really hard watercolor pencils. I'm not used to that. I'm used to like softer. Softer watercolor pencil. So I'm going to come out and do this like edge, not quite all the way out to the edge, maybe in some places out to the edge, but not solid. being watercolor, it all kind of blends and merges anyway, but okay. And then I'm going to go dark. This time I want to go dark. I'm going to do, this is Ultramarine Blue. So I don't even know if you can see anything that's really going on here. Let's see. So here's Ultramarine Blue. And that I'm going to put out to the edges. And I also want to put a little bit in here. So this is my edge color. Just kind of doing slight circular strokes. Kind of listening for the timer on my clay too, so I don't over bake the clay. So let's see, I'll put some in here because we want the center to be a little bit darker. And I don't care if I go outside the lines. My die cut will cut the edges off. Okay, so here's that one, and the corresponding petals I want to do kind of the same way. I'll do this China Gold color, and then I'll put a little bit of Canary Yellow in this, more Canary Yellow in the center. And I'm going to do the middle violet. And then I'm going to do light indigo. Very hard pencils. I don't think I would give these a good review. I may have to switch up the pencils I'm using. Do a comparison. That might be fun. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the ultramarine. And we'll just put a little of this in. I don't want to just have it on the edges. I do want to kind of draw it back. Because I do want it to be kind of a darker purpley color, because to me pansies are kind of like little pieces of velvet in nature. They're purple velvet flowers. Although they come in all colors. I have orange ones and light blue ones and yellow ones and even maroon colored ones that Jessie Marie would like, because the maroon ones have orange in them. And let's see, I'll just take my water brush now and get it a little wet. Let's see, let me get a tissue as I push it out, and then I make sure it doesn't get too wet. There you go. And then I'm going to blend the center first. And while I have the yellow on the brush, I'll blend this center. Yep. I don't want to pull it too much into the purple into the middle, because it'll get too brown. I've just wiped my tip off. Push more water out. Make sure it's not too wet. And then I'm going to stroke this out because I want it to kind of blend out to a darker color. Like that. Oh, I had a cat climbing my back. Y'all want to see. Especially when I talk to myself. Okay, so I'm coming back. I'm just making those lines. I'll wipe my brush again because I don't want it to get too much. I'm going to come up here and do this one. Pull it out. I'm pulling some of the purple back, and I'll push it back. One thing nice about watercolor is it moves. Whereas acrylic doesn't move. It's pretty much where you put it. I mean, it does to a certain extent, but not like watercolor. Okay, now I'm going to get this big petal. This is still a little light for me for pansies, so I will probably let this dry a little bit and then add some darker color. Because watercolor always dries lighter. Okay, that was 27 minutes. Because I had to restart my camera. I don't know how to change that. I don't even know if I can change it. Okay, so that's the first layer. I'm going to let this dry, and while I let it dry, I'm going to go find my other watercolor pencils, and I'll do another one in a different kind of watercolor pencil that's not quite so hard. So okay, right back. Well, I found my Inktense, my Derwent Inktense. I don't have as many, and I don't have very much purple. I only have one that kind of looks like purple, but it's actually says it's water, and that's that. And that's number, I can't even read it, so, but anyway. And this one is Indigo, Deep Indigo. I do have a couple. I have a Prismacolor light blue and a Craze Art, which is a very cheap pencil, in a purple. And then I also have a Fuchsia Derwent. So let's see what happens with those. And I did the large flower there, so I'm going to just move down here and do this flower. And I think this is kind of a lemony color, but hey, we will put that in, and it just goes on so much nicer. I get almost instant gratification, which is good. I like instant gratification. Okay, and then I'm going to use the Fuchsia next, I think, next to the center color. Derwent feels a little chalky, but it doesn't feel anywhere near as hard as the other pencils. So right now, I'm just putting this down. In general, spread that out a little bit. like this, so I'm just going to take out to there. And on my dual petals, I'll do the same. Just take it out to there. Okay, and then I'm going to use the one called Water. And I'm just going to put that here. And I think I'm going to go just a little bit beyond that. And then I'll do that over here too. And here. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the deep indigo and do some of that. And this is really kind of a gray blue, and I don't know that I like that. So I may go from keeping that on the sides to just doing it like around the very edge. Really keep it light here. And it's the same thing here. I'm going to die cut these, and I'll line it up with the black ink edge, so anything that goes outside of there really won't matter. Okay, almost done with this color. I think I am going to go back in with a more purple color though, maybe with that craze art, and just kind of go across the whole thing. And I may move the water out a little bit further too, like out into here. Yeah, I think I got to move the purpley watercolor out because I really don't care for that deep indigo. It really does have a black hue, or gray hue. And I really want my pansies to be a little bit purpler, more purple. There. That's better. Okay, let's see what happens with this. Grab my tissue, wipe my tip, push some water out. There we go. And then I'm going to do this the same way. Just going to pull it out from the center. That's a nice bright center in that flower. Wipe it because I got quite a bit of purple on there. Wipe it some more. And I'm just going to kind of drag it all the way to the edge. I do want to, especially the Inktense, because it's not really watercolor, it's ink. So I'm going to get this wet, and want to make sure that I hit all of it. because then when I dry it, it becomes permanent and it won't move around on me, which is what I like about Inktense. That's got kind of a big demarcation there between that pink color and the purple, but probably once it's molded in the pansy mold and put together, it won't show quite as much. Plus I can put, you know, sparkles or something on the edges too. But you see the difference between the watercolored, the blended, and just the penciled? Right, for that I pulled the dark into the light because that's kind of a shaded area. But then I want to kind of do it the other way and kind of make sure this part stays kind of light. But like I said, I want to make sure I do get it all blended. And I'm going to bring it back the other way and for the dark edges. And I'm kind of doing small circular motions with my water brush too. And I really like this, so I think this is really pretty. So that's not bad. I'm just going to try to get it to blend in a little bit. There. And I can come back and add more color. You know, I don't have to leave it like this. But this is the first, these are the first ones that I've done. So until I use the mold and I see how it turns out, I'm just pushing this color out. I think that's the Fuchsia, the Derwent Fuchsia. So I'm just pulling this all out here. Have to remember to wipe the paintbrush off because I don't want to get my colors too muddied. I'm just trying to keep my edges nice and dark so they have that little bit of a velvety look. Then I want to pull some of that purple out towards the dark color. Now, can you see the difference? I was working really hard at putting color down for these flowers, and they're still pretty pastel, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I like some pastel flowers are really pretty, and the blue ones that I have in my rock garden in the spring are really pretty, and they're a very pale blue color. But I kind of like the Derwent, the dark velvety look of these petals better. And like I said, I could, when I finish, when this dries, I could go back in and add some more color. I could pretty much do anything I wanted to do. So if I wanted to come back up here, because these petals are dry now, I could add like some of this darker fuchsia in around this part. Put some here. This is when I think it's a lot of fun, is when you just kind of loosen up and you start playing and experimenting and just seeing what could happen. If I darken along these stamped lines. That's fun. You know, So that kind of makes it just interesting. I'll put a few pink lines here. But then I might put in some, looking for, okay, this is violet. Let's see what I can get out of violet. Oh, this is the gray color. I'm going to go back to, well, I guess I'll stick with violet. And just put some around the edges and on the lines. And I'm just kind of scribbling it on. And I can hear my timer going off. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it means my clay is done. Okay, let's see if I can get through this. I'll do this one first. Ooh, look at that. So I'm just hitting this. I put this along the lines. So now I'm just taking the water brush and kind of hitting those lines. Oh, you can't even see it. Sorry. So, oh, that's that one. Okay. Let me go back along these edges that I did with some more of the violet. Does kind of make a big difference, doesn't it? Between having a pastel flower and having something that looks kind of deep and rich. Right now I'm just trying to make sure I have it all wet so it doesn't reactivate. Squeeze some more water out there. I want my edges to be nice and dark. And I can go back, like I usually kind of go back with my alcohol markers, and I might add to it a little bit. Just to, you know, perk it up, and then maybe with some Wink of Stella to give it a little bit of sparkle. You know, you never know. So anyway, let me go get my clay out of the oven, and I might finish coloring this and cut them out, and then I'll be back. Okay, well, I thought I would come back and show you what they look like. They're just colored. I haven't done any more water because I kind of like watching it change, so I thought maybe you would too. So these are some of the leaves that I did, and of course, now I'm remembering that I wanted to put a little bit of purple in the stem. So let me do that quick. It's one thing nice about die cutting is it does, you can just kind of put it out there. So I'll start with this one. Ooh, look at that. That's 2 or 3 different colors of green. And I need my tissue so I can wipe my tip off so I don't get too much color. Not that you ever have too much color. I'm going to keep that spot a little bit light. That's the nice thing, is you can go back and kind of lift color if you feel you've got too much. That's a leaf. And I did go back and put a little more purpley color on these, even though I'd already done them once. So let me just show you what I did here. And I just wanted it to be a little more purple. Need some more water. There we go. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure you can at least see it change as I run the water over it. So there's that. And I added some more yellow. Let's do this little one right here, because this is kind of a going to be a two-tone. Kind of made this just a fuchsia pink color for the main flower. And then I put some dark yellow in, which will run up into the flower a little bit. But then I put some lighter purple on the edges here. And Wally's going to start barking, so excuse my silly dog. And I'll put the darker color out here. There. I hope you can see that okay. Alright, and then I think, did I add anything here? I think I may have put a little more purple in here, but I'm not sure. Maybe not. Might have just added a little more yellow to the center. Okay, so now we'll look at this one, because I have blue in this one. So first I'm going to do the yellow. And for that I did use some of the Canary Yellow from the original watercolor set, because I do still like them. It's just they don't lay down quite as easily as the Derwent and Prismacolors do. Ooh. Then you mesh that blue in with that fuchsia, and that's a Prismacolor. And that is it's just a blue. I can't read it, so I'm not going to worry about it. And the fuchsia from the Derwent is that. I want to lose all the blue. That purple is deep. The blue and the fuchsia really makes a really pretty deep purple. Wow. Get it activating over here more. Oh, I like that one. I'm going to activate this blue. So I want some of its beard to stay blue. And then we'll just put some purple. And this is the blue and the fuchsia combined. That makes this really beautiful purple. There. And then I did this in a bit of a different order for the other petals. I'll do around here. So I want to wipe it off before I get into the fuchsia so I don't get quite as much dark purple in here. There. That's pretty. I like that. Okay, now this one will be interesting because this one's got the indigo. So let me just get that yellow going. Okay. And then I'm going to do the centers, the beard and stuff first because I want that to kind of stay that really pretty blue color. You can really get some pretty flowers just playing around with the colors. And that blue is really pretty. It's nice and dark. Okay. Now I'm going to come out and I'm going to hit this indigo that I have out on the edge, which remembers that kind of grayish black, blue-black color. I want to cover it all with blue. And see, wiping the brush tip off, it does pick up a lot of color. There's a lot of color in these pencils, so I do want to keep wiping it off so that I'm just not, you know, muddying everything up as I go. Not that I'm a professional or that it doesn't get muddy, just that I don't want to make it any worse than I have to. Pretty. Like that. And now I've got more purple out here on these. So I'm going to go right from the indigo to the purple and just kind of pull it back and forth. There. Okay, so now I just have to die cut these. And I'm going to do more with this leaf. Maybe I didn't do anything with this leaf. Now because this is like I want it darker at the back, I didn't wipe it. There. Okay, I want this side to be a little darker because there's a rib there. And then I'm going to try, not very successfully, to make that lighter. I'm going to put some water there and I'm going to dab it. Come back in and make that dark again. There. Okay. So I am going to let this dry. And then I'm going to take the die cuts and cut these out. And okay, I think we're coming into the home stretch. Here's my sheet of cardstock all cut out. And these are my die cut pieces. And you can see I didn't line them up perfectly. I've got quite a bit of white around some of them, but that's okay. If you really want to line them up, sometimes you have to use like washi tape or low tack tape, and you have to put the die cuts down, the cutters down really flush with the lines. And you also probably might my cutting plates are kind of warped, so it doesn't help these to lie exactly straight. Now, one thing about these packages is they're nice and everything, and they do have an outline, so it shows you where your piece goes back, but it uses double stick tape, and that makes the back of the die sticky, which means that when you put your top plate on, it kind of sticks to the die, which doesn't help the alignment if you don't use tape. But anyway, so they just go back together just like that. They slide back into their little plastic sleeve, and then the top of the product kind of two-part envelope thing goes back together. It has a hang tag if you wanted, if you had some system to hang them someday maybe. Anyway, so now what I'm looking at is I want to use my mold, but before I do that, I want to kind of touch these up. So let me get this out of the way and pull these over. So yeah, you can see I've got 2 sets of the medium, and I've got a couple of the bigger ones, and I could mix and match any way I wanted, but that's just kind of how they colored out. So I've got Chow markers. These are Copic Chows. You can use Sharpie. Any alcohol marker is comparable. This has a brush tip and a chisel tip. I'm going to use the brush tip, and this color is verdigris, so it's a gray green, and I'm just going to kind of go around. Now, because these are alcohol markers, when I spray them with water, the ink won't move. I mean, if you use a water-based marker and you spray them, just be prepared for the ink to move. Could make it very interesting, really. You know, give it even more of a watercolored look. So I'm just going around the outside lines, kind of covering up the white edges, even the cut edges. Even if I was perfectly aligned, I would still have like white cut edges. So I'm just kind of covering all that whiteness up. You don't have to do this. You can do whatever your heart desires. Okay, so that, I think I got all those edges. So, and you can see the difference. Of course, that leaf has a lot more white on it, but when I go in with my marker and I cover it and I get my edges, it just kind of all blends and looks cohesive. I had to think of the word. My brain hurts a little bit from my headache. There we go. And I'll just do this. There we go. All the edges covered, and that's not too bad. I won't make you sit and watch me do all of this, but I will do some of the pansy. Now this is also a Copic sketch, so it's still a Copic marker. It's just a different shape. And this too has a chisel tip, but this one, well, it also has a brush nib, so pretty much the same. But these don't fit on each other. Okay, so this is V25, which is blackberry. And let's see, it's kind of a bluish tinge. Let's do this one, see what color we got. Oh, that's perfect. So, just covering all that white up. And the white edges too. I can't wait to see what this looks like once I mold it, see what happens. So I'm going to go in there and hit that edge, come around and get all this. I really should have been more careful and had less of a white edge, but at least this way I can show you, like with any other mistake, that you know you can make it work. At least I think this works. And if you don't want to do this, then just be more careful when you're die cutting. I am not the slowest. I like to, like I said, I kind of like instant gratification. And I can add some shading, like with my marker too. I can make, like this one, have a little bit of darker area. Get my edges, don't want to forget them. And Copic markers do bleed through, so, but Sharpies bleed through too. I mean, alcohol bleeds through most papers. Oh, this cardstock, you can see it here, that it's bleeding through the edge. The thing about this is it's not going to, unless I take an alcohol blending pen and go back over like any lines I make, those lines are pretty much there. But I could take a Dove blending pen or a Copic blender or something and hit that and blend that too. Nothing is impossible. So anyway, I'm going to do this to all of my flowers, cover all my white edges, and then I'll come back and show you how I put it in the mold and we'll see what the result is. Okay, well, they're all colored, and now I just have to mold them. So this is the mold. I've taken the cover off, and I'm not sure what's the best way to do this. I'm just going to spray. This is just water in a spritz bottle. And then I'm going to take my tissue and just kind of blot some of it out because I don't think we need all that water. We don't want to, I don't want to make it too wet because I don't want my paper to stick in there and rip. But this is the first time I'm doing it, so we will see what happens. Okay, there's only room in here for so many, and I've probably overdone it. So I'm going to just put the big leaf in there, and the smaller leaf in there, and let's see what fits where. Here's one of these. And does that go with that maybe? Maybe. Put that in there. Let's see, here's another one of that size, so we'll put that one in there. And that one. And then I have a big one here, so we'll do this big one. And I only did one small one, so of course there's lots of room for small ones. I'll put that one in right there. And then I have one extra large one that I'll have to do a second time. So this matches up. I'm going to try to put this straight down so it doesn't move too much. And I'm going to take this and run it through my die cut machine. Okay, let's see. I didn't look and I don't know if it worked. Okay, well, that looks pretty cool. It gives it a really ruffly edge. And then you put the two together somehow. Haven't quite figured that out. Maybe it goes this way. Yeah. Kind of makes a pretty cool little pansy. Might have to give it a little extra oomph, but that is pretty cool. And this is what it did for the leaves. It ripped that leaf. Oh well. But it's fixable. And then here's this one. Practice makes perfect. Okay, so I'm going to run that last big one through, and yeah, that kind of gives me some pansies to play with. I don't know that anybody really wants to. I might show the finished product because I'm not really sure what I'm going to make with them. But this gives me things for journals and for cards or scrapbooks or just about anything. I don't spray that lightly. Well, so much for lightly. Of course, now all my pencil's going to move. That wasn't Inktense. Not too bad. Okay, I'm going to run this one through and see what happens. Okay, well, I've put most of these together, and I think they really make really beautiful pansies. And I fixed my leaf that tore, so that's good. And then I left this one little one that's still in two pieces, so I can just show you how I put it together. All you do is you put a little drop of glue right there in the middle, and then this piece here just fits the slots right in like that. And then you have this really beautiful, because I like it to stay up a little, beautiful little pansy. And of course I could sprinkle some glitter or some little foam balls or beads in the center. Put a little bit of glittery stuff around the outside edges. Could take my white diamond shape and add some pansies. And some leaves somehow. And then just add some sentiment. Oops. Trying to do this kind of fast. And, you know, come up with something really pretty to put on the front of an album, a journal, a card, you know, whatever you might want to do. So I hope that gives you some ideas of how I'll be using my products. If you're interested, you can buy these from the Heartfelt Creations website or my friend Kathy at Huckleberry Herbs and Art. I'll link her below. She sells Heartfelt Creation, and she is a wonderful person to work with. She does great videos, and she shows you how she uses these products, and she does beautiful work. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you're having a wonderful crafty day. As always, God bless. Be colorful.